The moment where you realize that you need to open a computer in Linux and make a font in a font builder program because there's no one in the entire world who makes the font that I like, the one that I need, the one I need for me. I'll just do it myself. And to be fair, it's a derivative work, but what isn't? Oh, jeez, it's so fucking hot. Yes. I shot a lot of video over the past year and haven't shared any of it, which is probably make me sound like a repeating thing. What do they call them? Records. When they break. Broken record. Say the same shit over and over again. But underneath this here, Clan of Zymox bag that I have, which is where I keep, some of my drawing supplies that I carry around with me everywhere just in case and never need, are these, which make me happy. Yeah, so that's cool. Biodegradable gloves, for the shop, biodegradable razors, single use, disposables like we have to have, made out of like wheatgrass or something, so there's a small chance that somebody with like a skin allergy might have, a problem with that, but otherwise, way better for the environment, no plastics, which is good, and some biodegradable, compostable garbage bags here, which combined with everything the fuck else that I've got, and also have coming in the mail, is going to make me a much more eco-friendly tattooist. It's yeah, and it actually knocks the price of my tattoos up a little bit, because I'm using that stuff. And I'm trying to sort of like, I don't want to pass all of the buck onto the customer, the client, whatever you want to call him, the person they're getting tattooed, but some of it has to be. Otherwise I just can't handle it because I do have to pay my shop dues, right? So there's the percentage that other tattooists will know this, but when you work in a tattoo shop, you don't work for whatever rate you're charging, right? You have to help pay for the bills in the shop, and you have to also pay your dues, which, especially if you were apprenticed. Oh, I need my glasses. Ooh, almost forgot that. And yeah, so that's how it's billed anyway, and it usually comes in terms of a percentage. Mine started out at a 60-40, and it's supposed to even out to a 50-50, which should be fine. That'd be nice. That'd be okay. But yeah, the idea being, jeez, these are dirty. The idea being that the shop would make money, not just, not just get over, but make money off of my my existence and my tattooing. I'm not sure we've gotten to that point yet. I think right now I'm just sort of like, I'm definitely help paying the bills, and I buy like almost every piece of supplies that I have are my own, and we've actually gotten into some scruffy little angry things because it's like, well, I'm wasting money if I'm buying these for you. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, duh, jeez, it's bright. Because I want to do biodegradable everything if I can. And it's like, it costs, let me put it this way, it costs 3 times as much to do biodegradable materials for tattooing. The gloves cost 3 times as much. The razors cost 3 times as much. The trash bags cost 3 times as much. And this is all shit, like, if I just wanted to use the plastic stuff, the shop would provide, right? In fact, that's the way it was supposed to be. But let me make sure I have my keys. But I'm ornery, and I want to do the right thing by the planet. So, even if that comes at a personal cost to me, My percentage is supposed to pay for my supplies. As well, it does not. So, and I mean, I guess that's okay. You know, that's not. It's not the end of the world, and I'm not tripping on it. You know, I'm gonna do what's right, even if it costs. It really hurt at first, and it's probably still gonna hurt, but I'm gonna get used to it. And I use Black Claw biodegradable cartridges, which are great, and I'll show ya. So over the weekend, the secretary girl who did the witches market, well, booking lady, I think she prefers, had told me that today was a day off, so it was just interesting. So I decided that, you know, because I'm the kind of person that I am, being that today was a day off, I would come in and work anyway. You know, clean the shop up, get everything back in order after the Friday the 13th and all that good stuff. So that's good. Let's get this wiper here, and I'll show you the cartridges in a minute if everything goes according to plan. So I'm supposed to be the only one here. Yeah, my boss shows up a few minutes ago in a horrid mood. So I say good morning, and apparently that set her off. I assume something, I don't know. I didn't do anything to deserve that kind of throat jumping, but this has become kind of a regular occurrence. I've kind of been keeping it to myself for a long time, but you know, it's just getting to the point where it's kind of annoying. Anyway, I think she just locked and took off. It would appear so. It would appear that that is the case. Yeah, very odd. Very, very odd. So I'm not gonna wash anybody's dirty laundry out in the open and out in public, but you know, because I don't think that's right. You know, you don't tell other people's secrets to other people. You know, you don't sit there and trash talk people behind their back. So I'm not gonna do that. But suffice it to say, I have reason to suspect that it wasn't anything that I did. So, although, who knows? At any rate, I've been cleaning and sweeping and all of that good nonsense, and I'm mopping currently and trying to get everything back in order, but we shall see how things go. I just got done this morning. I woke up from a dream of basically someone who had, you know, sexually abused me a lot as a child. In this dream, was trying to do it consistently, but this time I had my axe with me, right? And I don't know if I've ever shown you my axe, but I have this cold steel tomahawk. It's pretty common, right? It's got the sharp bit on the front, and it's a nice little, almost, you know, bearded, hooked face. And yeah, so he was coming at me, and I kept telling him to stop, and I was begging him to stop. I was just, you know, tears in my eyes, you know, please stop, don't hurt me. I'm going to put it into, I'm going to stop you, I'm going to hurt you, please. I do not want to hurt you, because I actually care about this person, even though they're a piece of shit. And he kept coming at me, and he kept coming at me, and he kept trying to fucking hurt me, and I would, like, keep pretending like I was gonna do it, and it wouldn't stop him. Nothing stopped him. He kept coming at me, he kept trying to hurt me, and he kept coming at me, and he kept trying to hurt me. And eventually, I wounded him. You know? I took him down, and that was just, like, really depressing. So I was like, that's a horrible thing to dream of. But I think what it probably represents the psychological state that I'm in, where I'm finally getting to the point where I'm mentally prepared to tell people no. Like, I'm not afraid of being without other people's support. And so if people are going to be abusive, then I'm not going to have them in my life. I'm not going to put up with it anywhere. In my relationships and work or home, I'm just not going to put up with it. So I guess that's finally starting to grow up a little bit, which is something that I've been doing a lot of recently. So, but yeah, that's where we're at. I'll come back to you in just a minute. I've got a bit more mopping and what to take care of, but I would really like to show you. I've got these black claw bios, but we'll get to those in a minute. So here are the Black Claw Bio tattoo cartridges. Got that shiny shit on the bottom. Let's check this out. So you can't really see inside of them without me ripping one open, which I will do. I don't mind doing. I think I got just one loose one in here somewhere. Because instead of like the normal carts, they come like 20 in a box, and it's like 5 and then 5, or rather, my bad. It's like they're stacked funny because they're big, and the shit's big, right? So you got your Black Claw Bio cartridges, which is, this is like professional level, like top quality kind of bullshit, and it's a tight 9 liner, which is actually my favorite. Which is funny because like most people don't want the tight liners, but I actually like them. I like my liners just a little bit finer than a 7, and I feel like it does a thicker thing. Now to compare, I've got I don't know if I have one already open just for fucking around. Let me check something real quick. I do not. But to compare, we've got our Amazon, which I know I shouldn't have done, but I wanted to try them anyway because I've seen them. It's Zombie Gen 2, which everybody who is trying to save money and shit is like, well, they're just as good as any high quality needle and all that stuff. And so yeah, maybe, but like here, this bothers me right here. You see right there on the zombie's ear, they couldn't get a decent digital artist to just fill that in, or whatever. I do like the Swamp Witch text on there, and obviously the aesthetically I love it, but made in China. Right there. Busy Bee Tattoo. No, these are cheaper, right? It's only 16 pieces per thing, but they're like, they're still like $25 or whatever per thing, which is, those are close. The Black Claw Bios are closer to 40, so these are more expensive. These are the most expensive on the cheaper end of this sort of just Amazon crap. And as you can see, they've got like this. They've got their logo on there, which is kind of cool. I like the Swamp Witch thing, and when they're definitely usable, but they're just. I mean, I don't know. I don't hate them. That's a lot of plastic, right? So let's do a little comparison here while I got some time. I think, I got a few minutes anyway. We'll put this kind of crap back in there, and you see if I got down there. I've got, several of these sort of different kinds and styles of cartridges and shit. And now that the Black Claw Bios are available, that's like all I'm gonna be rocking if I can avoid it. avoid using the plastic. So we've got these right here, and I'm gonna kind of be holding this at the same time, and I suppose I could grab the thingy. So yeah, they're probably best. Give a sec. So I don't know that that's necessarily better, but it's there. It's a thing. So, and I got these. I was showing this morning these sort of good Judy gloves, and yeah, fuck it, why not? Let's try some of these on. So these Showa brand gloves, plenty flexible. They do have just a slight, I don't know, it doesn't seem that different. I think they're just higher quality than, I've been using a lot of Blackwork brand, which is like a tattooist brand, but they're like super thin, and which is better for the environment. If you're gonna have to throw away plastic, might as well throw away half the plastic, right? But these have that biodegradable thing. They feel pretty good. It's definitely like a nice thick barrier. It doesn't feel like I'm gonna... See, that didn't quite snap back quite as... I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's nitrile, right? It feels like nitrile, so it's not too bad. So we have the Zombie and the Black Claw Bio. Cool. Let's start with the cheapo Zombie Chinese cartridge, and I've tattooed with both of these, right? Like I'm not. So you've got your paper, and then you've got all this nasty fucking plastic right here. It's not that much compared to the other. It's nice and thin and crunchy, but nevertheless wasteful. Whereas this, you've got this sugarcane container right here, you know, that's going to break down. That's going to get rained on, and it's going to break down. Open that up and look right in there for the tight 9 liners, and that's corn plastic. We've got a little orange color thing right there, color indicator for the different sizes. I've got a couple other sizes coming in the mail here in a couple days, and they should have different colors on them. So at a glance you can sort of just see which one you have. Typically I've been using different brands for different things like that to avoid that problem, but so that's kind of cool. It's fun. Let me throw this in the trash here real quick. So it's corn plastic, right? So as I can see right there, there's a little tiny little spur of that corn plastic stuff right there, but it's out of the way. The needle is seated, as you can see. It's nice in the bottom there. It's not, the membrane is nice and springy. I don't see, I'm trying to wobble it. I don't see any needle wobble in that regard. I haven't actually taken one of these apart, but yeah, seems kind of nice. It's got a good anyway, and there's no, you know, little barbs on the needles or anything. This is just a fantastic needle. Whereas this, on the other hand, is not bad. It's got one of these chingaderas on there that it's also got the number indicator 9 right there. You know, most of them do that nowadays. Most of the Gen 2, Gen 3, whatever's. It's got the number indicator right there. The clear plastic, which is nice. I mean, you can't do that with corn plastic, apparently, not yet, or they're not doing it. So you know, I don't think that's indicating anything, but you know, you've got the same basic shape, the same thing. It's got a little, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a grindy feeling. It's almost like gravel between your fingers or something, like kind of feeling when this happens. And I'm not sure, it's somewhere the membrane in here is, the plastic is outside of the membrane, is riding on another piece of plastic, and it's not gliding with the same grace that this one is. This one, there's no grind. There's nothing. It's just glide. Glide. This one, it has a tiny bit of a grind feel to it. And this one's seated right in the bottom. It's kind of hard to see with this shitty camera I got, but This one is not. This one doesn't really wobble at all, no matter how much I do this. On the bottom, it just stays seated. This one, on the other hand, I don't know if you can see that, but if I put pressure on it one way or another, the top of the needle is wobbling like this. So yeah, it's wobbly. And for a 9, like, you just look at the difference between the two. Yeah, sure, there's 9 needles on each. This one is a tight 9, and it's thicker than this one, which is not. And this is supposed to not, it's not supposed to be a bug pen or anything like that, so I don't know what the hell they're thinking with that. But they work. Yes, we've got the two things. This one's wobbly and crunchy and shit, and it doesn't hold straight, and it's got a strange shape. Yes, okay, we all understand, we all agree. The one nice thing about the zombies, and a lot of the sort of Gen 2 cartridges, is that they have these sort of like soft things on the front, which is a big waste of plastic, and I'm definitely not for it. But, so when you have your hand on the machine, here, I'll go ahead and turn this on. Well, I think I know what I'm doing here. Yeah, there we go. You can sort of, because you don't grip the machine back here, right? Like you would with a big old Tobori stick or something. You grip it up front, right here, and then your finger kind of goes right there on the cartridge, right? So you're drawing with like a pen, right? And that extra pad gives you a, you know, you got a little place for this finger right here, right? And you've got some padding right there. It's really helpful. It's really useful. But it's just really wasteful. But as you can see, I mean, I don't know if you can see that or not. This particular cartridge is seated a little bit to, it wants to be seated a little bit over to this side of the tube. And as long as it stays on that side, it's fine. They can sort of gauge by where that needle is coming out, and draw with it and do all that good fun stuff there. And it's tolerable, but it's kind of noisy, but, you know, hey, it is what it is. The machine's the machine. Now these, on the other hand, the Black Claw, they have, it's very lightweight too. It has no padding right there, right? So then it's uncomfortable-ish. I mean, I guess it's not really a big deal. Smoother already, just it moves smoother. It sits where it is seated. It is designed in such a way that the tube fits just so around the needle, but it doesn't block it. Oh, now what I have noticed with these is that this sort of like reservoir right here is not, how would you see? You know, and I think this is all cartridges, but I mean, you can see the difference in size there, and sort of the difference in thickness of plastic. I mean, this isn't really plastic, right? See, look, they've got the little Black Claw symbol right there. I don't know if you can tell. Is that this being thinner, I'm sure it has some, like, half of a milliliter extra room to have ink in the reservoir, but I've found that when the ink is all full in there, it starts spitting ink anyway, so it's not super useful. But, yeah, I have to say, I really, really like these. And the fact that they say they're 100% biodegradable. I don't know how you biodegrade the steel in it, but I guess steel is biodegradable, so that's good. Yeah, it's rather quite nice. And I also got a battery. Thanks to the Fireside Tattoo Network, they suggested that I didn't spend the, you know, $500 was it for the critical batteries, and I went and instead got me a Javelin battery system, which was a lot cheaper. And I did Friday the 13th this thing. I mean, I switched back and forth. I use my coils as well. This is definitely my backup, but I tattooed for 12 hours. 13 hours. Give or take, I was in here tattooing, and I used this about half the time. Now, so I'm pretty good about start, wipe, stop, start. But if you're not good with that, I imagine it will only last about 5 hours of just straight run time. It's like I like to run mine about 6.5 to 7.5 volts, something like that is good for me. But damn, this battery is actually lasting really well. We'll see how long that continues for, but yeah, it's been doing me well in the Axis Valhalla. You know, it's just also been stellar. You know, tattoo machine. You know, it's been the one that's actually convinced me that rotaries are worth a damn. So, you know, what does that mean? What is that good for? But yeah. So that's just like my opinion. Like I said I was gonna show you, so I did show you. It's not like, you know, some like review video or whatever, but so I'm not buying these anymore. In case anybody's curious, getting tattooed and cares about the planet or whatever, I'm not doing these anymore. It doesn't waste as much plastic as, say, like a bottle of Coke or something, but it's so much better to do this because you know, even than a traditional coil setup, I would say that this is probably less wasteful. More expensive for sure, but less wasteful because I'm using the eco-friendly PLA bags, which all just like if you set them in the sun, they just fall the fuck apart. Washi tape to hold all that together. I use a little bit of Sensi wrap at the top here, not a whole lot, but I've got me a thick grip coming in the mail, so I use even less Sensi grip. And then I'll have a nice big old chunky thing like that, so I don't have to do like, because if I'm tattooing for like 5 hours, 6 hours straight, I need to make it like really chunky so my hands don't hurt at the end of the day. But yeah, so with that, you know, relatively little waste. There's no, I mean, yeah, okay, so I have the battery, which is pretty bad, right, for the environment to get batteries. Like, batteries are evil in general, but if it lasts me, I don't, at what point in time does it offset, like, having to use a clip cord? And now I can get better bags. I have these left over from like a year or so ago, you know, your traditional clip cord cover bags, you know, that you can just sort of stick your pen machine in the bottom and then have your cord come out the other end. How many of these how long do I have to use that battery to make it offset how many of these get used? Because I've only used about, shit, I don't know how many I've used. But, you know, you throw away one of these per tattoo, and then, you know, whatever other bags you use, you know, if you're using a traditional coil machine, you know, so it's like, well, what the fuck, you know? So if I can eliminate, the more plastic I can eliminate, the less damage I'm doing to the environment, the better. Like I said, I know the battery is probably not the best thing, but I wonder how many years I can hold on to this, and if I can get the battery itself recycled, that would be good too. But yeah, so my client that was supposed to show up like 8 minutes ago didn't. So I'm gonna get the fuck out of here for the rest of the evening because I have art to do for tomorrow morning, and I don't want to fuck with it. I don't want to fuck around. This morning wasn't the end of the whole thing. Like it kept going. You know, not gonna wash dirty laundry in front of y'all or nothing. But like, it's like, you know what? I fucking cleaned the shop. You know, I'm good. Good. My client's not here. I'm good. I'm just gonna shut down. Hey, look, ringy phone. Yeah. So I'm not actually gonna tattoo anybody with these, just in case anybody was wondering. So yeah, no, once they've been popped, they're my like little display pieces that I fuck with. I've got a couple of these, and I just sort of like, you know, if I ever want to like remind myself, you know, how these things work. I also got these, which is interesting, and I think I shot a video with them. I've used them once. They're also wobbly as hell, so I don't know that I'd ever use these on what they're meant for, but they're like, so you have traditional needles, and then you have like bug pen needles, and you have like these tiny like half bug pen needles. Well, this is this is one single needle. I don't know if you can see that against the color of my skin or my hair or something. I've got one single needle that is a third of the diameter of a standard tattoo needle. And it fucking, you know, it works really well, but it's fun as fuck. It's super, it's wobbles and wobbles. So anyway, none of these are going in anybody's skin. I just sort of have them so I can fuck around with them whenever I want, you know, got various sizes and what have you. So yeah, fuck off. I'm gonna go fuck off.